Bryan Barcena. Courtesy, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles. Photo, Neil Tyler. The Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles, has named Bryan Barcena its new assistant curator and manager of publications. Since his appointment as research assistant for Latin American art in 2015, Barcena has served as the co-curator on Ana Maria Milino, 2017, the museum's contribution to the Getty Foundation's Initiative Pacific Standard Time, LA, and Adrienne Villa-Rojas, The Theater of Disappearance. From 2013 to 2016, which will be on view until May 13. Prior to joining the institution, Barcena was curatorial assistant at the Institute of Contemporary Art, Boston, where he was part of the team that organized Leap Before You Look, Black Mountain College 1933 to 1957, 2015, for which he both contributed a variety of essays to the catalog, and co-organized a series of public programs. He served as curatorial assistant on exhibitions for Liz Deschennes, Mona Hatoum, and Jim Hodges, among other artists. Commenting on the appointment, MoCA chief curator Helen Molesworth said that Barcena's work on the Ana Maria Milino and Adrienne Villa-Rojas exhibitions was essential to their success. His engagement with artists of his generation is sharp and concise, and his overall knowledge of post-World War II Latin American art is a huge resource for MoCA, the Canadian Photography Institute (CPI), at the National Gallery of Art in Ottawa, Ontario. The Canadian Photography Institute (CPI) at the National Gallery of Art in Ottawa, Ontario received a major gift of 635 photographs by American photographer and filmmaker Paul Strand. 3 Canadians donated the works, which span the artist's entire career, anonymously. Paul Strand was one of the 20th century's outstanding photographers, mastering a repertoire of styles from pictorialism to abstraction and documentary, said Ann Thomas, CPI's senior curator of photographs. He was an extremely exacting printmaker, testing out different printing methods, papers, and coatings. He brought together qualities of fine craftsmanship with a deep connection to content, which involved the natural world, simple everyday objects, and where and how people lived out their lives in a diverse range of countries and cultures. Born in New York City in 1980, Strand apprenticed with American documentary photographer Louis Hine, at the Ethical Culture School in New York from 1907 to 1909. After exploring modernism, and attempting to be a commercial photographer in 1912, he traveled all over the US, Mexico, Egypt, and Romania. Ultimately he moved to Orgeval, France, where he in 1976 Pace Gallery's new space in Geneva. Pace Gallery is expanding to Geneva. It plans to launch a new 3,600 square space at Quai des Bergues 15 to 17 in March. The gallery will be Pace's 9th location, with 3 in New York and outposts in Seoul, Hong Kong, Beijing, London, and Palo Alto, California. An exhibition featuring Louise Nevelson, Sol LeWitt, and Adam Pendleton will inaugurate the space. The cultural communities across Switzerland and throughout Europe have long played a pivotal role in Pace's work internationally, and we're very excited to establish a more permanent presence in Geneva, said Pace's president and CEO Mark Glimcher. As the art world grows increasingly global, embracing new commercial centers and strengthening relationships with communities of collectors around the world are key elements of our mission to advance the international engagement with our artists' work. Pepe Nasorio, the winner of the College Art Association's 2018 Distinguished Artist Award for Lifetime Achievement. The College Art Association named the recipients and finalists of its 2018 awards for distinction and announced the creation of a new award for excellence in diversity. Honorees this year include Pepe Nasorio, the recipient of the Distinguished Artist Award for Lifetime Achievement, Phil Ibez, the winner of the Artist Award for Distinguished Body of Work, and Kelly Jones, who was recognized with the inaugural Award for Excellence in Diversity. CAA has also awarded 2 Distinguished Feminist Awards for the first time. The prizes went to artist Lynn Hirschman Leeson and scholar Lowry Stokes Sims. The awards will be presented during convocation at the CAA Annual Conference on Wednesday, February 21, at the Los Angeles Convention Center. The CAA Annual Conference will run until February 24, 2018. The complete list of 2018 awardees is as follows: MoReCharles Rufus Maury Book Award Benjamin Anderson, Cosmos and Community in Early Medieval Art, Yale University Press, 2017. Laura Ann Kalber, Color in the Age of Impressionism, Commerce, Technology, and Art, Penn State University Press, 2017. Alfred H. Barr Jr. Award Barbara Drake Bowman Melanie Holcomb, editors of Jerusalem, 1000 to 1400, Every People Under Heaven, The Metropolitan Museum of Art, 2016, Alfred H. Barr Jr. Award for Smaller Museums, Libraries, Collections, and Exhibitions Melissa Rachel F. Inventing Downtown, Artist-Run Galleries in New York City, 1952 to 1965, Gray Art Gallery, New York University, Delmonico Books, Pressdale, 2017, Frank Jewett Mather Award for Art, Criticize Malai Zarkias, The Concrete Body, Yvonne Rayner, Carolee Schneemann, Vito Acconci, Yale University Press, 2016, Art Journal Award Heather Igluliort, Curating Inuit Karuji Majachakangi, Inuit Knowledge in the Kalanat Art Museum, Art Journal, Summer 2017, Arthur Kingsley Porter Prezeran M. Hyman, Inventing Painting, Cristobal de Villalpando, Juan Correa, and New Spain's Transatlantic Canon. The Art Bulletin, June 2017, Awards for Distinction in Teaching, Writing on Art, and Conservation. Helen Frederick is the winner of the 2018 Distinguished Teaching of Art Award. Edward S. Cook Jr. and Alex Potts are the winners of the 2018 Distinguished Teaching of Art History Award. Joseph Mashek is the winner of the 2018 Distinguished Lifetime Achievement Award for Writing on Art. Paul Messier is the winner of the CAA, American Institute for Conservation Award, less after nearly 11 years at the helm of Artis, a non-profit organization devoted to supporting contemporary Israeli artists who address social and political issues in their works. Yael Reinhardt has announced that she will step down as executive director. Reinhardt will relocate to southern Maine, where as founding director of the Surf Point Foundation, a non-profit established by philanthropist and collector Mary Lee Smart in 1988, she will launch a new residency program for mid-career artists and writers. We are sorry to say farewell to Yael, who has been the force and vivid spirit behind the growth of Artis over the last decade, Rivka Saker, the founder and chair of Artis, said in a statement. Her clear thinking and unending search for excellence have enabled the organization to maximize its potential and spread its message far and wide. We look forward to her continued involvement with the artist community from Israel as she embarks on her next professional steps. Under Reinhardt's leadership, Artis worked to promote Israeli art by organizing research trips to Israel, facilitating acquisitions for major U.S. museums including the Museum of Contemporary Art Los Angeles, and the Museum of Modern Art in New York, presenting hundreds of public programs internationally, and awarding artists and curators grants. Prior to joining the organization as co-director in 2007, Reinhardt held positions at Creative Time, Matthew Marks Gallery, and Christie's in New York. I have been so privileged to lead this organization. Reinhardt said. My greatest joys have been to witness artists pushing their work to new levels of complexity and sophistication, to raise awareness of their work, and to create platforms to enable their growth. I think we have succeeded with our mission to a remarkable extent, and I believe the stage is set for great accomplishments in the future. Less the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Nearly 300 scientists have endorsed a letter pressuring the American Museum of Natural History in New York to sever ties with board member Rebecca Mercer, a billionaire who has helped fund climate change denial organizations. Mercer, a benefactor of Breitbart and a significant patron of Donald Trump's presidential campaign, has been one of the board's 41 members since 2013. Between 2008 and 2016, the Mercer Family Foundation gave $5.9 million to the Heartland Institute, a conservative think tank that has continually promoted forums for climate change skeptics. The amount is almost $2 million more than what the Mercers donated to the American Museum of Natural History in that time frame. The foundation also gave sizable grants to the CO2 Coalition and the Center for the Study of Carbon Dioxide, organizations that uphold the belief that carbon dioxide pollution is beneficial to the environment, a stance contradicted by the international scientific consensus. The most important asset any museum has is its credibility. This can be damaged by ties to donors and board members who are publicly known for investing in climate science obfuscation and opposing environmental solutions, said the letter. In addition to the 200 scientists and academics who released the letter last night, 28 tenured curators within the American Museum of Natural History have also protested Mercer's connection to the museum, reports the New York Times. Alberto Giacometti, Atelier A, 1950. Photo, Thomas Gibson, Fine Art Limited. The Giacometti Foundation in Paris is opening a research and exhibition center that will include a reconstruction of the studio of Swiss sculptor Alberto Giacometti, Anna Sansom of the Art newspaper reports. The new institute will be run by Foundation director Catherine Grenier, who joined the organization from the Centre Pompidou in 2014. The Institute Giacometti is a fantastic tool for a better knowledge of Alberto Giacometti's work, said Dila Kamel Menor, who represents the artist's estate. While the date when the institute is expected to open is not yet known, it will be located in the Montparnasse neighborhood of the city. Envisaged by Annette Giacometti, the artist's widow in 1986, the Giacometti Foundation wasn't officially established until 2003. It is devoted to the preservation and conservation of Giacometti's works, including drawings, paintings, print, plasters, and bronze casts, and the promotion of his work internationally. The foundation maintains the largest collection of the artist's works in the world. Its holdings include more than 5,000 objects. It also has the famously painted walls as well as furniture and library from Giacometti's studio on Rue Hippolyte Maindron. The artist viewed his workspace as an extension of himself and called it a turning point in his biography. Laura Raykovich, the director and president of the Queen's Museum in New York, is stepping down from the helm of the institution after a 3-year tenure. Disagreements between Raykovich and the museum's board may have contributed to her decision to leave. There are so many big things that art and culture have to contend with that are so wrong in the world, Raykovich told Robin Pogrebin of the New York Times. That's where my focus and energy needs to be, and at the end of the day, I just felt that my vision and that of the board weren't in enough alignment to get that done. While Raykovich did not elaborate on her relationship with the museum's board, she spoke with Pogrebin about a dispute she had with several board members over the decision to close the institution on January 20, 2017, in solidarity with the J20 art strike that took place during the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States. Instead, the museum held a protest poster-making event for members of the community. More recently, the board opposed an idea Raykovich proposed that involved transforming the museum into a refuge for immigrants by making it a safe space where people in the community could go to be connected with social services and other resources. During her term at the institution, Raykovich has also been outspoken about her political views, sparking debate about the role of the museum in defending the diverse audiences it represents. When Trump first moved to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA, in 2017, she spoke out about the importance of the program. In an interview with the New York Times in October 2017, she said, "I take my leadership very seriously, not just in a physical and managerial sense. Care and equity has to be part of what I bring to my position." More in a statement provided to artforum.com, Raykovich said, "I am deeply grateful to the board for the opportunity to imagine the museum as a very vital, convivial, and inviting commons for art, ideas, and civics. I wish the board, staff, and everyone who has participated in the life of the museum well. As the daughter of an immigrant to Queens, the Queen's Museum, and the borough will always hold a very special place in my heart." Les Oluogibe's Monument to Strangers and Refugees, 2017. Photo, Michael Nast. Artist Oluogibe and authorities in Kassel, Germany, have started a fundraising campaign to keep an obelisk installed on the city's Königsplatz after the artwork was featured in last year's Documenta, the city's quinquennial exhibition of contemporary art. According to the Art newspaper, the campaign is seeking $750,000, the amount for which Ogibe has agreed to sell his sculpture, titled Monument to Strangers and Refugees, 2017. Although Ogibe designed the work specifically for the public square in Kassel, the Nigerian-born American-based artist said he has received competing offers from other cities in the region. Concrete obelisk honors war victims and bears 4 translations of the New Testament phrase, "I was a stranger and you took me in." The nearly 53-foot structure was intended as a rebuke to xenophobia and a reminder of the generosity necessary amid the refugee crises. In 2015, Chancellor Angela Merkel welcomed all refugees into the country, an open-door policy she revisited last October when she agreed to restrict the annual number of asylum seekers allowed to enter Germany to 200,000. Since Merkel's gesture, the right-wing extremist party AfD has become a growing presence in Germany's parliament. Members of the party were critical of last year's documenta and called Ogybe's sculpture disfigured art, a phrase similar to degenerate art, a term the Nazis used to describe modern art. MoCA campaign to purchase the obelisk marks the first time an artist has joined a fundraising effort to buy a work for Kassel, which has bought 16 documenta sculptures or installations since 1977. The city has a budget for purchasing indoor artworks, but not outdoor ones. Last July, Ogybe won Documenta's Arnold Bode Prize for the sculpture, which the prize called an affirmation of the timeless, universal principles of attention and care towards all those affected by flight and persecution. According to Kassel chief culture official Suzanne Blker, the campaign to acquire monuments to strangers and refugees will last 3 months, at which point, if the established amount is not raised, Ogybe will be free to sell the obelisk elsewhere and give donors their money back. The Guardian Art Center. Photo, the Bureau Ole Sheeran. The Guardian Art Center, designed by German architect Ole Sheeran and billed as China's first custom-built auction house, will open in Beijing this spring. Funded by China Guardian, the Chinese auction house with locations in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and North America, the new cultural complex is located on Wangfujing Street in the city's historic Dongcheng District neighborhood. The Guardian Art Center is a lot more than just a museum, Sheeran said. It's not a hermetic institution, but rather an acknowledgement of the hybrid state of contemporary culture. It is a Chinese puzzle of interlocking cultural spaces and public functions that fuse art and culture with events and lifestyle. The building will boast of an 18,000 square foot main exhibition space, additional galleries, 2 large sales rooms, and state-of-the-art restoration and conservation labs.